Hey, this is Dave Conigliaro, author of Keeping Your Customers Addicted to You. Today I got my good friend with me here on Skype or whatever we're using here. I don't even know what it is. Gerald Debose. Now, Gerald, man, is an entrepreneur, not a solopreneur. Don't be a solopreneur, guys, by the way. If you're the only one in your business, if you're the president, the vice president, the CEO, the janitor, the secretary, look, you need to get more people. Right? No, you can't do this thing by yourself and be ultimately successful. Gerald owns how many businesses, man? 9, 10 businesses? How many do you own, Gerald?
I'm not that bad. It's 7 in the portfolio, though.
7 businesses. Okay. Gerald, man, we were talking the other night. You're working with the NFL, right? Or you're getting some NFL players?
Doing some stuff with some professional athletes in general, not just NFL. We're doing some NBA stuff, guys, even some people on the PGA tour. So we're working with them on helping getting their businesses set up so they can transition for life after sports.
Oh, nice. Now tell me a little bit about that, man, because a lot of NFL players and sports figures, I know what they're so focused on the game that they don't really think about funding the future or thinking about the future. And you, how are you helping them with that?
Well, one thing we've done, we've worked with quite a few rookies this year that are coming into the league, and we're helping them set up businesses. Because the problem for most of them is that their life is the game,
right?
And the problem is the game for most people doesn't last past 4, maybe 5 years. After that, you have to go back to living regular life. You have to be able to support your family, pay for these houses and cars and all these things that you buy. So what we're doing is working with them on setting up businesses so that their transition is a little smoother and they can work on their passion and after football, whatever it is that really lights them up besides the game, in ways that they can contribute to society in a meaningful way.
That's right. I know a lot of professional wrestlers, that live down here in the Bay. And a lot of times, they life after wrestling, and it seems like every single one of them open a gym. They open a gym because that's what they're so used to, right? But a lot of them, they have to close their gyms because competition in the gym market is so fierce. You got LA Fitness, you got Planet Fitness, you got all these gyms, and they just kind of, consume the market share. And if these guys aren't extremely savvy, and know how to market well, man, they just get swallowed up, Hey, what are you're working with, tell me about the workshops. I just talked to you the other day about you're doing some seminars and some workshops, and you just got done with one. Tell me about that.
Well, what we do with my company, New World Order, we do a lot of trainings and workshops, mainly for businesses, but we also do some public stuff. So we have a private side and a public side. For the public, we started doing some financial literacy training. So we had about 30 different people come through, and we did some training on investment strategies, how to manage money, and just talking to them about their whole concept about how money works, because poor is not a socioeconomic status. I'll say that again. Poor is not a socioeconomic status, and that's what a lot of people think it is. It's more of a habitual thing. It's not about your environment, it's about the environment you're creating. So that's what we talk to them about, and that's what we've been doing with that. And we've done some sales trainings too for some small business owners, the startups, and as you just said, some solopreneurs
right.
That don't understand anything about sales systems and processes.
Right. This is something that I preach on all the time. We just shot a video a couple of weeks ago about this, and I said it's not about the strong who survive. It's about those that adapt the quickest and the fastest to an ever-changing world. If it was about the strong who survive, the dinosaurs would still be here because they're stronger than everybody. So it's really about those that adapt the quickest to an ever-changing environment. Those are the ones that know how to survive and thrive. In a world, man. And I totally agree with you, man. The richest man in the world, the wealthiest man in the world has 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the poorest man on earth has 24 hours a day, 7 days a week as well. And so it's basically how we spend our days is how we spend our lives, right? Tell me about the conditioning. Do you go through like when you're talking to people that kind of have a scarcity complex, and they're always believing poor. You know what I mean? They're thinking poor, they're thinking small, they don't think big enough. They're always limiting themselves by doubts. I was talking with a guy recently, and I said, man, if you would attack doubt and skepticism in the same way that you let it attack you, you know how successful you'd be? It'd be unbelievable how successful you'd be. Well, how long does it take you to kind of penetrate those kind of old behaviors and mindsets that these people have?
Well, that's the first thing that we attack, obviously, because people start with surface things. People always think about why are things going bad. So I use acronyms and things to give people cognitive shortcuts, because that's how I am able to kind of snap them out of what they're doing.
Yeah, man. Give me an acronym. Give me an acronym.
Well, I said bad. That's the first thing I say. I say this is why you're doing bad with your finances. It's your behaviors, your actions, and your decisions. That's why you're doing bad.
Bad.
But what's driving the behaviors? What's driving those actions? What's driving those decisions? Those are the things we have to look at. We have to look at what your emotion is around money. We have to look at, what past programming you have had. What did you learn? What are your beliefs around money? So we talk about your beliefs so that we can talk about now what emotion it's creating. And then that's going to help to change your actions, your behaviors, and your habits. But if we don't look at what you truly believe about something, then we can't ever truly change that habit. We can change it for a moment. Yeah, momentary change is nothing, but we need consistent, permanent change so that you can change the way you live your life, and your results will be different.
Right. What are some, I know it's a workshop, so you give them some, what do you give them, like a curriculum? Do you give them what do you give them, books?
I give them it's a whole workbook that we go through, and it's a little test. We do it right in the beginning. As soon as the workshop starts,
nice.
After I do the introduction, after we initially meet and greet, and everybody says why they're here, what brought them here, what they're expecting to get out of the workshop. Then we go straight into what are your beliefs around money, and it's about 75 questions I got. It's about, what do you believe? Rich people are bad. Nice. On a scale of 1 to 10,
right.
Do you believe? On a scale of 1 to 10, so we can rate their beliefs around what's causing their issue. Because most people's issue isn't the fact that they don't make the money. It's, for one, what they believe happens if they get money, and number two, what they feel about people that they feel are wealthy. So if you feel somebody that's wealthy is a bad person inherently, and that's a 10 for you. If you feel that wealthy people are greedy, and that's a 10 for you. If you feel that rich or wealthy people are manipulative, and that's a 10 for you. That's a lot of crap. You're never going to try to be wealthy because you don't want to be a bad person.
Amazing.
So,
amazing.
If that's a hang up, we got to talk about that.
Doesn't it seem like, Gerald, that, well, like, for example, I mean, when I'm talking to people, about this, people that have kind of those self-limiting beliefs, it seems like, well, if Bob and Dick are successful, I mean, there's no way I could be. It's like that scarcity mindset, right? Like, there's too many whales in this little pond, and there's no way I can get ahead. And especially when you talk to young people, man, in their 20s. I mean, I talk to them all the time. We go down to Brandon, Florida, and I talk to young people all the time, and they kind of have this opinion that modern day slavery is working for corporate America. And these are the new modern day slave masters, and I'm working. These are the types of opinions that people have, and I think, man, this is crazy. It's a job. You want to get ahead, be a resource, not a liability. I'm like, if you increase your skill set, it will increase your wages. The bigger the problems that you solve for other people determine the size of your paychecks and so forth. And it's amazing to me that these kind of self-limiting beliefs and behaviors. Well, if these people are successful, there's no way that I could be. It's just these limits that they put on themselves. Wouldn't you say that that's sociologically conditioning? I'll give you an example. I was at a high school last June before I was talking to the seniors, the graduating class. I was in a lower income neighborhood, so I went up by a show of hands. How many of you want this once you graduate? That you want to make just enough money to stay broke, right? Of course, none of the hands go up. And I said, but why is it that we only hang around broke people and we only get advice from broke people about money, right? We always go up to broke people and find out, what do you think about money, or what do you think about wealth building? It's crazy to me, because broke people always think in a broke way. Like, for example, we can eat at this restaurant and that restaurant, but we could never afford to eat at this restaurant and that restaurant. Or we can drive this type of car or that type of car, but we could never drive that kind of car or that kind of car. We could live in this place, but we could never live over there, over there, over there. It's just always limiting. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree with you that it's all about beliefs. That's what we were just saying, that beliefs drive emotion, beliefs drive your behaviors. And the thing I would challenge, though, I don't think it's socioeconomic that the fact of them having those beliefs. As you said, I believe it's more environmental, and that's what you were pointing out at the end. The people they're hanging around, the things they watch, the things that they look up to are from people that have those same type of beliefs. So it reinforces what they already believe, and it drives their emotion to be a certain way about things. So they don't want to do anything different. I don't say they don't want to do anything different. They want different, but they don't know how to get there. They don't have anybody that they can look to and see has come from this environment and is here now. So everybody that they see is doing a little better are doing things that we would consider not the most legal things in the world. So it limits their ambition or their foresight of what change can happen. So that's why we have to get back and get to those youth. Those youth are the ones that I love talking to.
Yeah.
At 12, 13 years old, for somebody that's able to come back from a neighborhood that was not the richest. Hey, I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. It was a rusty spoon. I was just happy some food was on it. But I knew that's not where I wanted to stay, to be my life. And I wanted more, so I went out and I sought out people and studied people and read and watched people that were doing things that I wanted to do when I got older. And that's why I was able to change, and that's why I feel that anybody can change anything.
There's a quote that really changed my life, man, about 12 or 13 years ago. I mean, it just snapped me. Sometimes you'll read something or come across something that it's that, that paradigm shift. There's this one quote by Charlie Jones, I quote it all the time, and he says, you're going to be the same person you are today 5 years from now, except for two things: the people you meet and the books you read. And it really just snapped me, because I started thinking about man, if that's true, is there even a single problem in my life or anybody's life that the answer to it can't be found in a book or somebody somewhere? Like, for example, let's say you got a spiritual problem, there's the Bible. Let's say you got a car problem, there's the car manual. Let's say you need some business advice. Are there any books written about business? Yeah, there's tons of books written on business. Some are great, some suck. But you know what? You kind of have to navigate this stuff, right? And but the truth is, it just snapped me, man. It just snapped me. Gerald, man, where can people find you, man? Where can they find you if they want to look you up?
If they want to look me up, they can find me at www.thenewwealthorder.com. That's thenewwealthorder.com. They can find me on Twitter at Gerald with 2 D's, NWO. And that's the easiest ways for them to find me, man. Those two places.
Gerald, man, it's been good talking to you, buddy. It's been great talking to you, man. You have an awesome super week, brother.
You do the same, man. Thanks so much.
Everybody.